Okay, so we are going to learn about Kazakh. Let me set my timer because I don't want to talk too much. Okay, here we go. So Kazakh language. So what does Kazakh even mean? So the Kazakh language is the language of the Kazakhs, which are descendants of nomadic people groups of Turkic, Mongolic, and Iranian origin. And there are many theories about the etymology of the word Kazakh, but the most popular one is that it comes from Old Turkic and it means free, independent person, traveler, and adventurer. Something along those lines. So, and also the Kazakhs are predominantly of Muslim religion. They adhere to Islam. So, what is Kazakh language? The Kazakh language belongs to the Kipchak branch of the Turkic language family. The numbers vary, but from what I could gather, there are like from 14 to 20 million speakers worldwide, and it's spoken primarily in Kazakhstan as it is the national language here, and also in neighboring countries, as you can see on this map. So this is Kazakhstan, and these are our neighbors. So what is Kazakhstan like? It's located in Central Asia, in Eastern Europe. Kazakh is the national language, as I already told you. However, Russian is the lingua franca, as it is spoken by more than 95% of the population, whereas Kazakh is spoken by only like 75 to 80% of the population. And the number of people who can read and write in Kazakh is even lower. It's about 2/3 of the population, whereas in Russian, people can read and write at about 85%. And religion-wise, 70% of people are Muslim and 25% are Christian. Muslim population is mostly Kazakhs and Christian population is mostly Russians. So what does Kazakhstan look like? So the Kazakhs are nomadic people, as I already told you, and that means they traveled a lot along through the steppe. This is the steppe of central Kazakhstan. This is from the south. It's Singin Barkhan. It's a Kazakh word, and it's kind of like a type of sand dune. So this is from the north. This is like a very popular pink lake. This is from the west. It's the Stur Plateau. Very beautiful. And these are Altai Mountains in the east. So a quick history lesson. So in order to understand Kazakhstan and the Kazakh language, you need to know a few key points in history. So in 8th century, Islam begins to spread in Central Asia. And by the time the Kazakh Khanate formed after the Golden Horde fell in 15th century, it became the state religion in Kazakh Khanate. This was the first Kazakh state. But then after internal turmoil and conflict and wars and invasions, Russia came in and took all the territory. But they started in 18th century and they finished colonization by 19th century. And as you may all know, in early 20th century, there were two revolutions in Russia: February Revolution, which happened in March, and October Revolution that happened in November. And after those two, the Soviet Union became a thing. But you may also know that Kazakhstan is not a part of Soviet Union now. It's independent, and it became independent in the 90s. So one more thing, you need to understand the Jews. Jews is like a tribal union in Kazakh Khanate. All right, and there were three of them. There was Junior Jews, which is colored in green here, and it's mainly in the west. Middle Jews, it's located in the north of the country, like in the east and in the center. And Senior Jews is located in the south. And when the Russians came in, they colonized first the green part, and then the orange part, and then the senior part. So each Kazakh has a tribe and a clan, and they formed unions. So these are the three main unions. So, and dialects, when you speak about dialects, we also have to consider these tribal divisions because they roughly correspond to the three traditionally distinguished dialects: Western, Northeastern, and Southern. You can see like this is the Western dialect, this is the Northeastern dialect, and this is the Southern dialect. And Northeastern dialect is the basis of the literary language, which formed in the second half of the 19th century, because our most prominent writers and poets, etc., were from this area. So, but it is kind of ironic because if you can see this map, it's from it gathers data from our last census, and it shows percentage of people with European ancestry. Here it is Russians, Ukrainians, Belarusians, Poles, and Germans. And you can see like the Northeast is actually the least Kazakh area. Kazakhs there can also speak Kazakh, but they mostly converse in Russian. They prefer Russian. And I come from the Northeast. My parents come from the Northeast. So I do not speak Kazakh pretty well. Yeah. Phonology. Let's talk about the language itself. So in blue, we can see these are native phonemes. In black, these are allophones of k, g, l. These are pronounced k, r, l. And here's a consonants and vowels: m, n, ng, p, b, t, d, k, g, k, c, ch, j, or j. It depends on the dialect. F, v, s, z, sh, h, r, h, r, w, l, wait, l, l, y. And the vowels are e, u, o, e, o, a, sounds a bit like Estonian, I think. Anyway, so historical phonological processes. If we compare the Kazakh language to other Turkic languages, there were four main phonological processes. The ch became a sh. We can see here like the word of three. In Turkish uch, and in Kazakh ush. Sh became s, bash, and bus. Y became j or zh. Yil and zhil. R became w. For example, in Uzbek, tor, tau. Orthography. Maybe you didn't know that. Maybe you knew. But Kazakh is written in three different scripts. These are Cyrillic script, Arabic script, and Latin script. And you can see here in the map where each is used. The Cyrillic script is used in Kazakhstan, in Russia, and in Mongolia, in Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan. Basically, like former Soviet Union and Mongolia. Mongolia uses Cyrillic also for its own language. The Arabic is used in China, in Afghanistan, and Iran, and the Latin script is used in Turkey. But by 2025, the Latin script is set to replace Cyrillic in Kazakhstan. And examples here will be written in my version of Latin because the government still hasn't decided yet on the official version, I think. I don't know. That's confusing. Let's move on to the features, because Kazakh is a typical Turkic language, and it has amazing features like vowel harmony, no grammatical gender, agglutination, SOV, word order. Although it can be free, but it usually is like just SOV, and other orders are used mainly in poetry. Postpositions, and because of agglutination, SOV, word order, and postpositions, if you draw a syntax tree, you get left branching, like it kind of like all goes to the left. So vowel harmony, we're going to start with that. There are many ways to call this distinction, but from what I can remember, it's like back and front vowels, neutral tongue roots, and retracted tongue roots. In Russian, in my school, we call them like hard and soft vowels. But Kazakh calls it zhuan and zhengishke, which translates to wide or broad and narrow or slender, kind of like Irish, I think. So broad vowels are a, o, u, and slender vowels are e, a, u. And here's an example or for why it is important. So kol means arm, and koldar means arms, but göl means lake, and kölder means lakes. So you can see like we choose the suffix according to the vowel in the root, like in the word itself. And there are like exceptions, like some grammatical suffixes do not follow vowel harmony, and of course long words don't follow vowel harmony, and compound nouns. But that is generally the rule. You need to look at the last vowel in the word and like add suffixes accordingly. Pronouns. So these are men, sen, siz, wol, biz, sindir, sizdir, wolar. You can see here that we actually use like 4 U's, kind of like European Spanish with their tú, usted, vosotros, ustedes. And you can also like see that we do not distinguish, we don't have gendered personal pronouns. So non-binary folks, we got you. You do not have to choose between he or she because it's the same word. So cases, it's not as much as in Estonian, but there are a few, like 7 of them. And I declined 2 words, Juan word and Zhengshke word, child and heart. And cases are basically like used instead of prepositions in English, or, you know, like to indicate what's the subject and what's the object. Balanı, or bala, balanı, balanın, balaha, balada, baladan, balamin. It's an exception, instrumental case, an exception to the vowel harmony rule. Жирікті, жирек, жирікті, жиріктің, жирікке, жирікте, жiriktен, жирikpen. And maybe you can see it, but these consonants are not the same as these consonants, because there's also like, I don't know the official name, but consonants are also need to be in harmony. So here we have no consonants, so the suffixes start with n, r, d, m. And here we have voiceless consonants, so k, and suffixes start accordingly, like t, k, t, p. Great. More harmony. Here's some basic phrases. I colored the Arabic loanwords in green just to show you how much Arabic integrated into the Kazakh language, even in the basic phrases. So you have salim, which means hi. Salim is which means hello. It's more formal. And you can see it's a question, and it means basically it's an interrogative particle. This is like you are formally, and are you in good health? That's basically what it means. And between men, you can use Assalamu alaikum. Maybe you heard it because it's a very popular like phrase among Muslims. To say how are you, you would say kalın kalay or kalaysın. Kalay here means how. Sung and means like you. Sung means you are, and means your. Kal comes from Arabic, and it means like state, your emotional state. So how are you? How are you doing? Khair comes from Arabic, it means good, and to make it an adjective, we attach l at the end, and we have khairlı. And you just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Karlı tan, karlı gün, karlı keş, karlı tün. Here we have a Persian borrowing, hoş geldinizler. It means like welcome, and it basically translates to it's good that you came. Well, hoş means good or well, and geldiniz means come, came. So kind of logical. To say my name, you would say benim adım, my name. And to say thank you, you would say rahmet. To say yes, you would say ya. To say no, you say жоқ or жоқ. And to say bless you or goodbye, you say sağ bol, which means bol means be and sağ means healthy. So be healthy. And that's cute. Here are some example sentences to show how grammar works. So I know that I'm presenting to mostly Brazilians. So here, how you can say we're from Brazil. Brasíliadanmız. Brasilia means Brazil, dan means from, and mız is like we are. It's a popular. You could say also biz, Brasíliadanmız, but Kazakh is a pro-drop language, so you don't really have to say it. You can say it either way, Brasíliadanmız. To negate this, you would say dan yemespız. You have a negative word, and you attach a copula to it, and you can see like ma changed to p because s is a voiceless constant. So we're not from Japan. Japoniadan yemespız. We're not from Japan. Here's a sentence. He or she loves Alan, or he or she will love Alan. Simple future, and simple present are basically the same, have the same form, and it reads all Alan'da жақсы көреді. He or she, Alan, accusative case, жақсы көру means, it's a phrase means, it means to look good at someone, but it means like love. So all Alan'da жақсы көреді. Here we have a postposition, туралы. Biz жұмыс туралы сөйлестік. We talked about work. And here you can see, like in English, you would say about before work, but in Kazakh, you would say жұмыс туралы after the word. So postposition, not preposition. And here we have a conditional sentence. Мектебіме келсем, мен келмеймін. If you come to my school, I will not come. Or if you come to my school, I do not come. Again, I omitted a few words, like it would be in full. Егер сен менің мектебіме келсең, мен келмеймін. But you can say it like that too. It's grammatically correct. And the longest word, I know Dana here would love this because I learned this specifically for this presentation. It contains 33 letters, and you can kind of see like all the agglutinative glory in just one word. So it means because of your dissatisfaction, you say it to a group of people that you respect and who are mostly older than you, and it reads, қанағаттандырылмаған. I hope I didn't butcher it because that's a hard one. So basically, yeah, Kazakh тілін öğrenіңіздер. Learn the Kazakh language.